What's going on, Bama fans? Chris Daughtery here with the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. As many of you guys know, we've got 3 college football channels here at Chat Sports: the Ohio State Football Report, the Alabama Football Report, and the Michigan Football Report as well. Looking at our sub count here for the month of January, Ohio State is really taking it to both us and the Michigan Football Report. Now, they did really benefit from the fact that they had multiple playoff games, the national championship game, that they were able to go live for and do those watch parties. So, you know what, guys? If we want to be the best, we've got to beat the best. Help me out. Make sure you guys hit that sub button for me right now to stay up to date on all Alabama football news and rumors. All right, first up on today's show, of course, the Reese Senior Bowl is happening this weekend. Of course, you know, players going through their media days, press conferences, practice, and everything like that. Alabama does have 4 players that are going to be participating in the Reese Senior Bowl. You got Jalen Milroe, CJ Dippre, Tim Smith, as well as punter James Burnip as well. Now, one note, Malachi Moore did accept that invitation originally to be at the Reese Senior Bowl, but because of that injury that, he had to get surgery on before the bowl game, he ended up opting out of the Senior Bowl. And this is really a chance for a lot of these guys to boost their draft stock going into the 2025 NFL Draft. And the main guy that I want to start with here is Jalen Milroe. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, being mocked, number 3 overall to the New York Giants from that CBS Sports poll. This is a big chance for him to really boost his stock because, as we all know, look, the physical traits are really there for Jalen Milroe. He's got the arm strength, he's got the speed, everything like that. It's really that mental aspect of the game that I think worries a lot of people about Jalen Milroe. Definitely a lot of people, that are Alabama fans, going through this season and last season as well. There was just constant ups and downs with him the past 2 seasons. It was just a massive, one of the funnest roller coaster rides, or maybe not the funnest roller coaster ride out there, losing to Michigan last year in the college football playoffs and then missing the college football playoffs this year. Now, he had a few good games and then he'd have a couple bad games as well. My thing with Jalen Milroe going into this draft process is I have no doubt that he's just going to absolutely kill the interview process, during the Reese Senior Bowl stuff, during the combine and everything else like that. Look, if he can play well this week, I think a lot of scouts out there might just overlook the last 2 seasons because, look, teams really are married to this draft process to an extent. A lot of times they forget that a player played, the past 2 seasons of football. They put that film on tape and just because he was extremely inconsistent for Alabama, sometimes, they'll look at those measurables. They'll, think about those interviews that they had with that guy. They like him. Is he a good person, bad person, things like that. And they might overlook the fact that, the past 2 seasons was a just up and down roller coaster for Jalen Milroe. And look, this is not me saying I really hope, Jalen Milroe gets picked later because I want him to be in the best situation at the end of the day. If he's going number 3 overall to the Giants, I don't know if that's necessarily the best situation for Jalen Milroe to step into in his NFL career. So let me know here at the pinned comment of today's video. Do you guys think Jalen Milroe will be drafted in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft? Type 1 if you think he will be drafted in the first round, or 2 if you think that's a no. It's the pinned comment of today's video, so if that ad comes here on YouTube, it's totally fine. You guys can ignore it. Get down there to the pinned comment and let me know what you guys think. All right, next up, we're going to talk about CJ Dippre here. All these guys have the opportunity to, really boost their draft stock. Now, right now, CJ Dippre is not in Mel Kiper's top 10 tight ends at the moment. I do think there's an argument when, you look at what he can bring to the table that he possibly should be or could have been, but he's not right now there, so it is what it is. I do think he's a pretty good blocker, both in pass pro and in run blocking as well. I think the pass catching ability is there, although, you just didn't really get a chance a lot of times to see it here at Alabama. Had 17 yards per catch last year, over 12 yards per catch this year. That's pretty solid if you ask me. I think he's more athletic then, he really got a chance to show at times here at Alabama. I mean, you go back to his time at Maryland as well. He hurdled a guy at one point. So, CJ Dippre, I really like him. Really hope he can go out there and shine this week in the Reese Senior Bowl. Going on to Tim Smith as well here. This year I think he had the best year that he has had at Alabama. Had a very good game against Michigan as well. Was actually graded out from the PFF grades, the highest defensive player against Michigan. So, towards the tail end of the season, Tim Smith really did start to bring it on. Obviously, only had 2 sacks this year, a couple of TFLs as well, but, really did fill a massive need for Alabama. Still probably not a day 1 or day 2 guy yet, probably definitely a day 3 guy, but who knows? Maybe going into the, Reese Senior Bowl here, maybe he can help himself out this weekend. Over to James Burnip now. I know we don't always talk about punters, but look, James Burnip was an incredible punter for you this year. Last year as well, averaged over 45 yards per punt, had a 64-yard long. Nobody really should go out there expecting to be drafting a punter, or really, expect a punter to be drafted. But look, this could be an opportunity for him to shine in front of some scouts, really, give him the opportunity to show what he is capable of. And look, hopefully he can be an undrafted free agent and make a name for himself during the NFL draft process and go to an NFL team. I would assume probably not getting drafted, but I would definitely, target James Burnip to be an undrafted free agent during the 2025 NFL draft. All right, we're going to continue with some recruiting news here in just a second, but today's show is presented by Game Time. You guys can get tickets to the big game now just by using Game Time. It might be a little bit expensive there, but look, if you got the cash on you, look, it'd be a really fun time going down to New Orleans, whether you're going to the game or not, just down to New Orleans. That's a good time for you guys to go down there with your friends and family and really, create some memories that'll last a lifetime. Game Time has a new feature as well called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see live events even easier, whether that's concerts, comedy, theater, sports, everything else in between. Game Time has it for you. And the Game Time Picks feature just filters out all the fluff to show you only the incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. They have all-in pricing. You toggle this feature on and it shows you the total up front, so there are no surprise fees at checkout. Whether you want to go to a Willie Nelson concert, like I said, the Reese Senior Bowl coming up this weekend. Usually practice throughout the week is free, and usually tickets for the game are also not that expensive either. Use that Game Time Picks feature to get the best deals possible as well. One of my favorite features are the seat views. You guys can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy your tickets, so you know exactly what your view looks like from your seat. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and redeem promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but again, create an account and redeem promo code CHATSPORTS, that's Chat Sports, for $20 off your first purchase. That link's in the comment section and the description of today's video. So download Game Time today. They have last-minute tickets at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Next up on today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about recruiting. Alabama continues to hit the recruiting trail and offers players both in the 2026 and the 2027 recruiting classes. Now, today we're going to talk about a couple guys here, but all 3 of these guys are in the 2026 class, because at the moment, that is the most important thing, are those 2026 recruits. First name up here, a state of Alabama player here, Jaquez Wilkes, number 103 overall, top 10 edge in this class, top 10 player out of the state of Alabama as well, 6'4", 220 pounds out of Wadley, Alabama. Look, this kid is an absolute freak, played both sides of the ball, rushed for over 2,500 yards this year for 37 touchdowns, also had over 100 tackles. That is absolutely insane. Oh, by the way, in the 1A state championship game for Wadley, he also had 312 yards rushing, 5 rushing touchdowns, 10 tackles that led his team in the state championship game, and also had an interception. This kid is an absolute freak playing that edge position. Alabama would absolutely love to get him in their 2026 recruiting class. So I know there's been a lot of conversation, especially last year, Alabama recruiting some of the top players in state. I think 8 of those top 10 players went to Auburn. Some of the other ones went to, I believe, Ohio State, and definitely Oregon was the other one. But either way, How many top 10 players in state do you guys think Alabama will sign in the 2026 recruiting cycle? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section right now. All right, next name up here is Ebenezer Etowad. That's how I'm going to pronounce his last name. Ebenezer, definitely the first name there for him. Now, currently, right now, the 247 Sports rankings for him, he has no composite rankings because I believe it was ESPN. It was one of the sites didn't have him ranked at all quite yet, so there's no composite rankings for him right now. But look, he is a lower-ranked guy right now, number 46 edge overall, but a lot of top schools are starting to offer him. Georgia, Florida State, Notre Dame, Ohio State. He's going to be visiting Georgia as well this weekend. So, look, this coaching staff doesn't go on the 247 Sports or On 3 or Rivals recruiting sites and say, hey, who are the top players in the country? They go out there, they do their own evaluations, and this is a guy that they feel pretty solid about offering. So we'll see what happens, with him as well in his recruiting process. Last player we're going to talk about here is Vance Spafford, 2026 wide receiver, number 9 wide receiver overall, top 100 player as well, number 9 out of the state of California. Now, currently, right now, he is committed to Georgia, committed to the Bulldogs back on November 5th. But one thing of note as well, he is from Mission Viejo High School. You see right there, in the picture right there with his jersey on. That is the same team that Dijon Lee played for in high school. So look, just 1 year apart for these guys. I think Dijon Lee can really make a big impact in his recruitment here. Last 2 seasons for Mission Viejo, he had 140 receptions, over 2,500 yards, 36 receiving touchdowns as well. He's still taking visits though. He is committed to Georgia, but he is expected to take a visit this weekend to USC as well. So just because he is committed to Georgia does not mean he is out of the race for Alabama. Really, any of these players, not just these 3 guys right here. But look, the recruiting process, we're still a year away from signing day for these 2026 guys. So, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a fight. But, Alabama definitely still one of those top teams out there in terms of recruitment. Did you guys make it to the video or to the end of the video? If you did, appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for that. Make sure you guys like today's show for us right now.